What's up, everyone?
Hey, y'all.
So, we've had a little relocation. We were originally planning to record in another space in the church, but then all of a sudden, all these kids just come busting in the door.
We were like a good 6 minutes into it, too.
Yeah, and it was going great. So, we're back in the car, in the heat. So
At a Dave & Buster's parking lot, we're about to have date day.
That's right. Groupon came through. $20, all you can play. On non-ticketed ones. So that means I can only bust her in basketball a couple of times. But, it's neither here nor there. We're winning either way. So
in this video, we're going to talk about the Faithwalk that courting is, and our frustrations with that, and then some conflict that we've had recently, and just frustrations overall. So yeah, I'm going to have Justin go ahead and share something that happened last week, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, over the last 8 weeks or so, schedules have been very opposite of one another. So, it hasn't allowed us to go on dates, whether it's work or just travel or whatever.
Last few months. Did you say weeks? Okay.
I don't know what I said. Last 8 weeks or so. So, we get to last week. Excuse me. And we get to Monday, right? So I went to St. Louis. The Braves kicked butt against the Cardinals, swept them 3 games. And I went with my dad. It was off the chain. Came back. And I told her, I said, hey, look, I'm going to try and see you on Monday when I get back. So just be ready. So I get back, and I texted her. I was like, hey, we're back. I need to eat dinner. And this is about 5 o'clock. She texted me at 8:30, and I hadn't gotten back to her yet. She's like, I'm leaving. And I was like, oh, dang.
An hour after.
Now, you would think, why would I say, oh, dang, right? That's not an appropriate response, especially when you see the I'm leaving, ... in the message. So, man, if you see ... in the text, it's not good. Normally, it's not a good thing. So I was like, I already knew I wasn't going to be there, but I wasn't going to tell her that because I was just going to show up at her house. It's going to be great. In my mind, I was like, this is going to be a great thing. So anyway, I reply, oh, dang. I'm playing into it. I'm like, if I can get her, a little distressed, a little bit on edge, it should work out. Oh, my goodness. I have sleepies. So I leave, I call her, I'm like, hey, what's up, talking to her. I figured, I'll just talk to her till I pull up. No. We get 3 minutes in, she's like, I don't feel like talking. Hangs up the phone. So I was like, oh, this surprise is definitely gonna be good. She's mad, and I'm about to just pop in. Bam! Roses. Bam! Chocolates in the package, because she likes to take them with her, so there's not a melting, accident. At least where it gets everywhere. It might melt in the package, but nonetheless. I show up. Straight cold shoulder. She wasn't even remiss. She wasn't even beside herself. She was flat out angry. Why were you angry, Rikki? Tell the people.
Oh, gosh.
Tell them why you were angry.
Well, that day was just overall not my best day. It was just one of those days where it's like, yo, today is just not it. So with him not showing up or me not seeing him, that added on to my frustrations. And with me, when I'm frustrated, it doesn't just go away. It takes some time. And I can't fake it either. So when he did call me, I was like, yeah, I ain't trying to talk to you because it's an hour later. You haven't come. You didn't call. I'm like, all right, whatever. I ain't trying to see you. And so, and he doesn't ever really, can you focus? And he doesn't ever really come.
That girl's hopping on one foot over there.
Okay, but we're doing a video.
I'm here.
Okay. So he doesn't ever really come to the house. And we've had discussions before where I'm like, oh, I don't know if you go out of your way to do stuff. So I wasn't expecting him to come at all, because he's been in my house. The only other times would be to there's been maybe 3 times total that he's been to the house. So yeah, I wasn't expecting that, and it was late. It was like 10:30 by the time he came. So anyways, I was frustrated about that. Didn't really want to see him, and then he came, and I'm like, oh, you're here now, and I was happy. But on the deep down, I was happy, but I was mostly frustrated. It was like, oh wow, you came to the house, like that's cool, and you brought flowers and chocolate, like that's cool, and I appreciate the gesture. But I was upset.
Were those flowers good? Were they what you wanted? They were a little limp, you know. I went to this ratchet store. I didn't have very many options, so I went with the best, literally the best that they had. So, you know.
I appreciated the thought and gesture.
I did my best with what I had.
I know.
They were like limp, low key. They were in there like.
They were not alive.
Oh, they were dead?
No, they were.
Or were they just flattened?
I don't know. Anyways, so then you want to continue?
So she gets in my car, starts hitting on stuff.
Okay.
She's angry. She just starts hitting on stuff.
That's not what happened. Not until like an hour into the conversation.
So we're talking. She just starts hitting on stuff. I've never seen her this angry. It wasn't an hour.
It was. It was after we had talked and drove around. We came back. Are you kidding? You're not remembering things right. Okay.
She gets in. We start talking. She's like, I can't believe it. Hitting stuff. I was like, wow, this is serious. So, nonetheless, she explained a bunch of things, and I was super bummed because I was like, oh, you know, I haven't seen you in a while. You know, I would expect this joyful, yay! And it was like, so it was shocking, but it really, at the end of it, it boiled down to, hey, I miss you. We need to go on a date. So, here we are at Dave and Dirty's, about to play some games and stuff. But
there's much more than just.
Well, you explain.
Okay, so
I don't know your feelings.
but I expressed them to you.
Yeah, you expressed them, but I'm not gonna be able to explain them.
Okay.
All I know is that you said you felt like we haven't had a lot of fun during our dating time, and that there has really been a lack of pursuit over the last 8 weeks, and you were really feeling frustrated about that. And then this last week, you just didn't do anything to really see me, and so you were frustrated about it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
That's what you're saying.
Which last week?
The week, you know, like the week that you were mad.
That's not true.
Oh, okay, well, I need you to...
Okay, most of what he said, except that last part, was true. But it was like a built-up frustration, not just that day. It was like built up over time. It's like, yo, like, this supposed to be time we living it up. Like, we're just dating right now. Like, this is time we get to know each other, have fun. And if we're already, like, giving each other scraps of our time and not really pursuing one another, doing the fun stuff, then it's like, okay, well, what does engagement look like? Because we're going to be planning a wedding and then, like, getting married. And then, like, if we're not already in the rhythm of dating each other well, in terms of, like, pursuing one another and doing fun things and, like, experiencing things together that are fun. Like, I like to do adventurous things and do things that are fun. And I feel like a lot of our dates were like, oh, let's go play with football really quick, or, like, and it's just a lot of, like, last minute stuff that we both end up deciding because we're so busy or because our schedules get in the way. So, like, just wanting us to do a better job of, like, intentionally pursuing one another via dates, but also just, like, love languages. So, like, we're both words of affirmation people, and just doing thoughtful stuff more for each other. And so I felt like we just weren't really doing that, and that dating was kind of lame. Because that plus having 1,000,001 boundaries makes it even more difficult. So I was like, man, if we ain't even having fun, like, on a friendship level, then, like, something is wrong. And I was really frustrated about that, which led to the way that it came out.
Banging on stuff.
I did.
It was like straight bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam.
It wasn't like
that.
That.
Rampage.
It was like
you ever played that Rampage time? One.
It what?
One.
Well, when I did it the first time, he flipped out. He's like, hey, don't take it out on my car. Don't do that. Like, don't hurt my car.
She was hitting it hard, like harder than I hit it. It was serious. I'm just glad she didn't hit the airbag and it, like, come bam. That would have been a memorable moment.
He said he would have laughed.
Oh, for sure. You know, after I made sure her face was all right. But, you know, you never ever seen one of those YouTube videos where dudes, like, drumming on the thing and, yeah. And the airbag busts out in their face. So, I'm just glad that didn't happen. But then the next week, so we talked, we hung out, it was fun. We were gonna go to this park, and then some shady stuff was going on at that park, or it was like real dark. That one over by your house. So we were gonna go there, but it didn't work. So we just talked for a while. It was much better as the time went on.
You said later that week. This is the same night he's talking about.
Well, then later that week,
Okay.
she called me. No, she left me this voice memo. It was like 6 minutes long. She was like, "Hey, I've come to these conclusions about dating. Tell me about it. Or you want to hear about it?"
I think that was before this.
Was it?
Yeah. Y'all, his memory. I was like concerned.
For the story's sake.
No.
You should just let it ride.
This wasn't true though. Okay.
But it's okay, The timing isn't what matters.
Okay.
It's just the fact,
That's alright. Okay.
When you're telling a compelling story, you can fabricate some of the
No,
details.
why would you if it's not true?
That's what they tell you, in the speech class. They're like, if you don't have a story, you just make one up.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure of the date, so I was just making one up.
I can-
Either way, all the events happen. Don't put your no.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna see when it is.
But it's your time to talk.
Oh yeah. Okay, it was probably a couple weeks ago. So I had this epiphany when I was in the shower because that's just the best thinking place ever.
On the toilet, in the shower,
And
great time to do thinking. Let's just
For-
throw that out there.
in the shower. Anyways.
Toilet's good too.
For maybe guys.
Women too. They gotta sit down every time
Not
they
that
go.
long.
It's
Okay,
good.
anyways. So I had this epiphany. Jeez, Justin, come on now. About courtship and dating. And it was like, man, why is this hard and why is it frustrating? Aside from the fact that we weren't actually going on dates often, but like, why is it so frustrating? And so like I had thought about it and I was like, wow. I lost my train of thought. But it's like, man, courtship is such a faith walk because you're taking so the three main things is what I've been learning that we're basing our courtship / dating off of is our friendship, our individual walks with the Lord, and our what was the other one? Friendship, individual walks with the Lord, and character. And so it's like we're saying and trusting the Lord, like based off of these things, I can marry this person. So it's like minus all the physical touch stuff, minus all the deep romantic emotional stuff, or just like, oh, I share my everything with you, and minus like us growing together spiritually. And like all of these things we won't experience until we're married. And so like even like that thought of like, yo, could I really, and so with us not saying I love you, right? It's like I know that once we say it, like he explained in our last video, it's communicating like I am ready to commit my life to you, like I'm not going anywhere, all of that. But I even think like the whole, like I have some friends ask me, are you in love with him? And I'm like, don't ask me that, don't say that, because we can't say that word, and and it just confuses my mind. But I think even reality is like, could I be in love with him until like before marriage though? Because it's like if we have safe parameters / boundaries, spiritually, emotionally, and physically, then we don't really fully know each other until we get married. And then the whole concept of becoming one, I was like, I think that's really when you can say that you're in love with someone, because like you're fully known and you're being fully known, or you're fully knowing them and you're being fully known. And so it's like until that point, it's like, yeah, like I can L-word him, but I don't know if I can fully be like, yo, I fully love everything about this man until we get married. Can you and so
That was funny.
And so
I can L-word you.
Shush your mouth before I tell him what you did last week.
What do I do?
Side note, he accidentally said the L word.
Oh yeah, I'll tell the story.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, and so
Thanks for bringing it up. By the way, that's not what love is. It doesn't keep breaking up. I'm just kidding. Okay.
It wasn't a wrong.
It's a joke. It was a joke.
Okay, so now I lost my train of thought. So anyways,
fully known and being fully known,
right.
equating to being in love.
Right. Oh, so like it makes sense why most people or couples that like date and grow together naturally and don't have boundaries, and just let things flow and happen. It's like, oh, it makes sense why you can be in love with this person, because you're allowing them to fully know you and you're fully knowing them. So that makes sense. But then what's scary about that is like, because you're allowing that to happen before true commitment is made. So there's a huge risk in that. And there's a risk in this too, because it's like you're trusting the Lord and walking in faith that like, yo, like from what I see with our friendship, our character, and our individual spiritual walks, that like I can marry this person and trust that I can fully be in love with him like after that, and growing together and knowing each other. So that's kind of the epiphany I had. I was like, oh, my frustration makes sense because we have these safe parameters around these areas. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'll tell the story real quick. I don't even know what we were doing. We were somewhere.
We were sitting in the car.
Well, where did we come from?
We were leaving somewhere.
The
like
Millers?
pre-engagement, I think.
Pre-engagement. It'll get you in your feels. So we're leaving there. We get in the car, and I was like, she's like, well. And I was like, all right, love you, dude. Ooh.
You didn't say dude.
Or I said, love you. And I just went like that, and then we laughed, and then I left. But I felt a lot of shame because I thought I broke the rule. I broke the boundary. But she said no because she felt like it wasn't real. So.
Because I was like, it's not real until you're like, I-L-U.
You can say it, you know.
I
love you.
I-L-U. But we're not saying it, so don't practice saying it because then you're going to mess up again.
I say it to my mother all the time.
Okay, but I'm talking about with me.
And my father.
Near me.
You know.
Anyways, so it's like the way he said it, like was like with the friend where you're leaving. Okay, bye, love you, bye. You know, it wasn't like a, thing.
Yeah, she has some expectations.
You go and say all three of them words. I wait this long for you not to.
There's the expectation.
Okay, look, all three.
We've also been dealing with some frustrations with these boundaries. So Rikki decided to come up with this song, which she's not gonna sing because it's annoying.
There's a question that poses the song.
It is super.
So I'm like,
annoying.
I'm always like, Justin, I have a question. He's always like, yeah. I was like, hey, brother.
Here it goes. It's like one of those bad Barney songs.
How can I honor you today?
Sister, how can I consider you? And then
I'm always like, boundaries are our friend. They get us to the end.
And then we just come with random words, and then she says that, and it's over. So as annoying as it is, it actually is helpful in continuing to frame the mind about why we do what we do, because they suck.
Yeah.
Bad, like really suck. And sometimes you just want to do stuff. And so she had to remind me. She's like, Justin. Somebody had to remind me. I think it was her. She was like, it could have been the Millers.
Okay.
And she was like, are we just doing the boundary for the boundary's sake, or are we keeping the boundaries because we want to honor the Lord?
Oh, that was the nuts.
The nuts. Yeah. And I was just like, I've been boundary for the boundary's sake. So really had a hard check with that. Like, in Christian walk, we don't want to do anything out of just, oh, this is what it says, so this is what we're going to do, or it becomes legalism, and then we get frustrated, and then we try to please the Lord. And that's not the gospel. That's false gospel, which is self-righteousness, which then becomes sin, and when we repent for that. So our aim should be in all things, in word and deed. When it comes to the mind, we live as living sacrifices and do things according to the mercies of God, because we aim to please Him. Because He has redeemed us and bought us, and so we live our lives in thankfulness and as an offering to God who has purchased us from sin and brought us to life. So that's where I've been, just really trying to say, all right, Jesus, these boundaries are about you, and I want to honor you in them, so help me take joy in your word. So it's been good, or better, let me say it's been better in the midst of our frustrations, singing silly songs, reminding ourselves of that heart check. Really thankful for community, because I really wouldn't have come to my attention unless my man Rob, or as his wife calls him, Robert, not brought it up. So that was great. So key to that, honor the Lord and keeping the boundaries. He's our aim. 2, date, court, marry, all those things in community, because they're going to bring things to your attention that you might not even thinking of. It's been great.
And even too, like realizing that purity is from a hearts and minds level. Like the God demands purity from the inside out. So it's not just whether or not we're upholding them, but like where's your mind at, where's your heart at? And these are things I'm often confessing to my sisters about, like, yo, lust is a real thing, and like really praying and fighting sin and temptation in those regards, because it's like even if we're doing a good job of like not breaking them, it's like if our mind is crazy, or if our heart's not in the right place. We start saying stuff, and we've been memorizing scripture about our tongue and being careful with things that we say that are just not appropriate at all.
Psalm 141, 3 and 4.
Do you know it?
No. Not yet.
Okay. I think it's like, set a guard over my mouth, Lord. What's the other part? Wait. Set a guard over my mouth, Lord. Keep watch over the door of my lips. Do not let my heart be drawn to what is evil. So that I take part in wicked deeds along with those who are evildoers. Do not let me delight in their delicacies. Or something like that. Psalm 141, 3 to 4. You gotta get on it, fam.
Okay. Honor and edify. Be set apart.
And what's the new one? Don't trust yourself.
Encourage the heck out of one another.
No, that's the honor and edify.
I had to add that one because I didn't know the third one.
That was the first one. Okay, anyways. So yeah, y'all, it's a fight. And it hasn't been easy. And it's been frustrating. But the Lord has been gracious. And I think having to be reminded to extend grace to ourselves too has been something I have to remember. But the Lord's been good. And we're taking a day at a time. Trying to be present.
That's right.
And all that.
That's right.
So, yeah. But we did good timing. So thank y'all. If you've watched to this point, you're a winner. I'm about to go in and play these games, and I'm about to kick his butt.
We may have a little add-on at the end of this when right now, I'm declaring victory like David. Going in, playing the drums, blasting trumpet sound. I am the victor. She's the loser. It's going down. You'll hear more about it later. See ya!